One of the most revealing chapters, if not the most revealing chapter of One Piece has arrived. Let's analyze everything about chapter 138 of One Piece. Are you ready? Then let's go, right after the intro. Part 1, Shamrock and Shanks. We start with another step in Yamato's cover story, confirming what we already expected. Who's who is the leader of that group? The question remains, is he the mastermind behind everything or not? Now let's dive into the chapter, starting with the first revelation, which was already anticipated. Loki asks why Shamrock has Shanks' face and if they have any connection. Shamrock then reveals that they are brothers. However, according to him, Shanks once went to marry Geoise, but he prefers to remain in the underworld, according to Shamrock. Many questions were answered here. First, Shanks knows his origins, is aware of his family, and has in fact been to marry Geoise before. This means that the theory of him being a rat resurfaces. It's not dead yet. But why did Shanks go to marry Geoise? Was it during the scene in chapter 907? Was it really him who went to talk to the Gorosei? I don't think so. I believe that was actually Shamrock, and that Shanks went there at a different time. My theory is that Shanks went to marry Geoise right after learning about his origins, which I believe is the scene where he cries in Roger's arms. I think Roger told him about his true heritage and may have asked him to find Nika's fruit, suggesting that he could find information about it in Mary Geoise. Of course, there is still a chance that Shanks will be revealed as a traitor, but I believe that would be very difficult, though not impossible. Loki then vows to take revenge on the brothers, unsettling Shamrock. In response, Shamrock reveals a very curious power. When he unsheathes his sword, he presents Cerberus, the three-headed dog. This dog emerges from Shamrock's sword, which strongly suggests that it is yet another sword infused with a devil fruit. This also strengthens the theory that Shanks' Griffon might be an Akamata sword as well. Shamrock then lets the Cerberus attack Loki, with the promise that if Loki survives and breaks free from his chains, Shamrock will accept his challenge and become his opponent. Meanwhile, Gunko creates a bird using her arrows. I mentioned in the previous chapter that Oda might have been inspired by Naruto's Akatsuki when creating the Holy Knights, and Gunko's ability strongly resembles Deidara's clay birds. Another important detail in this part is that the Holy Knights can suppress their powers, probably to avoid being identified. This shows an incredible level of Haki control and explains why Luffy hasn't sensed their powers yet. The hype surrounding these characters just keeps increasing. To wrap up this first part of the chapter, their current mission is to subjugate Elbaf. It seems that the Giant Prince is not a Holy Knight, meaning the world government won't have control over the Giants through him. Instead, their plan is to dominate them by force, and they will start with the children. They are also likely to call in another Holy Knight in the upcoming chapters. I wonder, are they calling in reinforcements because they know dealing with the Giants will be difficult? Or is it because they are aware that the Yonko Luffy is there? Moreover, with Cerberus attacking Loki, I wonder how he will manage to survive. Part 2. Finally, Scupper Gaban. In the second part of the chapter, we see that Luffy is in disbelief. He is very upset because the giant guards are claiming they were attacked by Shanks. Luffy refuses to believe this, saying that Shanks would never do something like that without a reason. Nami even asks Luffy why he trusts the red-haired pirate so much, and Luffy compares this accusation to someone speaking badly about Berry Mary to Nami. By the way, I'll make a more detailed video about Shanks being a villain, but every Mugiwara has a character who inspired them. Zoro has Kuina, Nami has Berry Mary, Sanji has Zeph. It would be really sad if Luffy were the only one whose inspiration turned out to be a traitor. He would be the only Straw Hat whose role model completely shattered, and the very meaning of the Straw Hat would lose much of its value for Luffy. I don't know if Oda would tarnish the manga's biggest symbol, the Straw Hat, with a plot like this. Then the possibility is raised that the attacker might be someone from Shanks' family. Luffy says it's possible, but as far as he knows, Shanks never mentioned having a family. Most likely, his true family was his crewmates from Roger's pirates, the ones he grew up with. At that moment, we see the hat-wearing man whose silhouette was previously shown. This time, part of his clothing is revealed, confirming that he is indeed the same man from the cover story with Crocus. And honestly, to me, it seems almost certain that this character is Scupper Gaban. Finally, we will see another major pirate who was alongside Roger and Rayleigh. I wonder what Gaban's role will be at this point in the story. If you think about it, at every major moment in Luffy's journey, a Roger pirate has appeared. At the beginning of his adventure, Shanks gave him the motivation to set sail. Upon entering the Grand Line, Crocus encouraged Luffy to keep going. In the middle of the story, his great mentor Rayleigh trained him for the New World. And now, Gaban will probably be the last of Roger's crew to assist Luffy. What role will he play in Luffy's journey? Part 3. The Great Mural. In the final part of the chapter, we start with an interaction between Ripley and Frankie. While Ripley showcases the magnitude of the Atom Tree to the Mugiwara, Frankie explains to him how valuable this tree's wood is to the outside world. Remember, the Thousand Sunny was built using this wood. Then we see an absurdly large, fossilized mural drawn on the Atom Tree. Ripley states that this drawing was made between 800 to 900 years ago, during the Void Century, which leaves Frankie completely shocked. At the same time, there's an interaction between Robin and Saul, where she is finally shown Harley's book. Robin is able to read its ancient language, and within this combination of images and texts, we might have the greatest revelation in all of One Piece, even though it still requires some theorizing for now. The text mentions 3 worlds and 3 wars. Of course, there will be many theories about this, but I'll share my interpretation of this mural and its text. The first world. There was fire upon the earth. I believe this refers to the Mother Flame, something that was once abundant in this world, and I think its source might be Nika. However, humanity succumbed to greed, which angered the Earth God, an entity that I believe now inhabits Emu. I theorize that Emu Nerona may have been a king in the second world who made a pact with this entity, but I'll expand on that in the next section. Then, the Earth entity made a pact with the Serpent of Hell, plunging the world into death and darkness. Oda might have drawn inspiration from the biblical story of Adam and the serpent, Lucifer, where both led humanity into sin. The result of this alliance was the Red Line, a physical representation of the Serpent of Death. They could never meet again. This could symbolize how the Red Line divided the world, preventing it from ever being united again. Another biblical reference Oda may have used here is the Tower of Babel. In the Bible, humanity tried to build a ziggurat to reach the heavens, but God divided their languages, creating the different races. Similarly, I believe the first world in One Piece is what created all the racial divisions we see today. Even though characters like Big Mom tried to reunite the races, they were never able to truly bring them together. Void Century. In the Void of Chaos, there was a breath of life. I think this refers to the ancient kingdom, which was able to unite different races peacefully. The god of the forest then sent demons, which I believe refers to the creation of devil fruits. Then, the sun, Joy Boy, scattered the seeds of war. I think this is about the poneglyphs. Joy Boy's dream may have been to restore the unity of the ancient kingdom. His dream was inherited by the D-Clan, who are the people of the Crescent Moon and the people of the Full Moon. I believe there are 2 factions of the D-Clan. 1, Joy Boy's will, inherited by Roger and Luffy. 2, the other D-Clan faction, whose will was inherited by Xebec and later Blackbeard. Notice that Luffy and Blackbeard are the only characters in the series with true dreams. One represents the Crescent Moon Ds, and the other represents the Full Moon Ds. Actually, I believe Luffy represents the Full Moon Ds, while Blackbeard represents the Crescent Moon Ds. I'll make another video theorizing more about the dreams of the Full Moon Ds and the Crescent Moon Ds. At the same time, Nerona, a king who desired to rule this united world, clashed with Joy Boy. Nerona then made a pact with the god of the world, becoming Imu-sama. The alliance between Imusama and the 20 Kingdoms was victorious in the Great War of the Void Century. Since they killed the sun, Joy Boys dies, they elevated themselves to divinity, becoming the Celestial Dragons. The sea god was enraged. This is probably Poseidon. The former Poseidon, in her fury, created a power that prevented Devil Fruit users from entering the sea, as retaliation for Joy Boy's death. Because of this rebellion by Poseidon, the world government persecuted the Fishmen, treating them as an inferior race. The Third World, modern era, the void upon chaos clearly refers to the Void Century being erased from history. The fragmented moons likely represent the D clan being scattered. The laughing, dancing sun god is clearly Luffy, and this time he will destroy the Red Line, bringing true unity, the one Joy Boy dreamed of. This is my interpretation. There are still many pieces to fit together, but I'll explore those in another video. What do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments and share your own interpretation of this chapter. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Thanks for watching. See you next time.